Hi, let's take a look at some of yesterday's plays. Hannover and Ulm, newly promoted side, taking the lead. Hannover responding. Nice profit to start the day. Eintracht Frankfurt. I sacrificed by profit I made by laying the draw second half. Frankfurt scored first, cashed out of the draw, sacrificed that draw profit to create a risk-free lay of the draw as this match progressed to 2-2. Eintracht Frankfurt needed to win in order to keep that gap to Bayer Leverkusen in third. Augsburg needed really to win just to get that away hoodoo off their back. Over 1.5 goals in this instance. Nice and simple play. Really good profit relative to what I normally get in this market. Back over 1.5 goals at the beginning of the second half because it was 0-0. And don't forget, Frankfurt's second in the league and at home. Cash out as soon as you get the first goal. 25 quid. Brilliant. Nice and easy does it. If you stay in, of course, you're going to make bigger profits. This for me is far more appealing than trying to grab 3 goals for over 2.5 goals. You're always fishing for that goal, and it has to be scored at the right time in order to get the odds move. We saw with Bournemouth against Tottenham, when you don't get that second goal, it can be as frustrating as bleep. Cambridge and the Shrews. This is a clash of the relegation threatened sides. Cambridge took a 2-0 lead, I think it was, or a 3-0 lead. Well worth laying, given the fact that these two are in relegation zone. About 2.4 the favourite, but 'twas not to be. Liability kept very low. We dodged a bullet with Manchester City, but of course you would have made a decent profit on the +1 market. As it remained 2-2 and another red card, it is a warning sign for Man City. They cannot buy a win away from home. The injury list is awful. Rodri, of course, the huge absentee. Phil Foden, Nathan Ake, a few others. It's poor stuff. Kevin De Bruyne actually got a full game, or started. He normally comes off the bench, particularly pre-Champions League. Hull and Blackburn, well, we got involved in a half-time market here. Hull's in-play stats were absolutely emphatic, but it was a 2.5 the favourite match, so keep your liability as low as possible. This was very unlucky. We got involved with, I think it was a 2-0 QPR lead. It became 2-1 very quickly, beginning of the second half, but that was a spectre of a goal. It didn't seem to appear. And what was to follow? 3-0 to QPR. Again, low liability. There were plenty of other calls in the live stream. Well, Feyenoord ends. Well, both teams to score in Brentford. It wasn't really a call. It didn't play, but excellent bit of research. Not sure of the angle in because the goal came so early. They are an overs side, both of these two. 8th-minute goal really took the life out of the markets. Crystal Palace and Man City, we got the equaliser from Manchester City. That was the first profitable angle. And we got the equaliser from Manchester City again. That was the second profitable angle. As you know, I advertise it a lot. The second goal from Crystal Palace at home is a rarity. So well worth taking on 2 occasions. Hope you profited. Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. Oh dear. Ava Banana, Onana. What a clown that goalkeeper is. Pretty much the cause of defeat. Superb Bruno Fernandes goal, but didn't follow it up afterwards. What on earth are you doing bringing on old Wurzel Gummidge? How on earth is he going to affect the match? Don't make no sense. So this manager is really not doing anything of any great importance, apart from, I suppose, picking up a 2-figure million, 18 or so million, if he fails again, like Den Haag. I'm not jealous at all. If I could be crap at my job and make 18 million, I'd give it a good go. So this is awful stuff. It really is. Man United fans wetting themselves because they've scored 4 goals against a really poor Everton. But look at this, failing to beat Ipswich. Bodo Glimt taking a 2-goal lead, or leading 1-2. It's just really poor, isn't it? Defensive problems quite clear. 2 goals conceded. And this Nottingham Forest are not an elite side. Let's be perfectly honest. In further analysis, it's 2 poor defensive errors. They have to be got rid of. There were a lot of favourites performing. I did give you this at the end of the live stream. Possibility of laying the draw second half. Monaco highly likely to take the breakthrough. In-play stats were emphatically in favour of them. Pre-Champions League, and you just take a back seat a little bit. That was a Frankfurt match. Well, Champions League sides, particularly in Germany, performing admirably there. In Serie A, well, we looked at the research for this, and this is what Torino do. 0-0s. So they are not an overs side by any stretch. There weren't really any other plays today. Lots of interesting scorelines, lots of fight backs. But again, you had that spectre of the Champions League, particularly on show with Barcelona again away from home. Hansi Flick, hair flick from the Gestapo. Hello, hello. Rene, hair flick from the Gestapo, getting red carded. I didn't know he was watching Barcelona. Ferran Torres making it 1-2, 2-1, but yet another second goal conceded. It's really poor pre-Champions League for this Barcelona side. First it's Las Palmas, and now, where are they? Las Palmas, and now Betis. Poor stuff, really poor stuff. So a little bit of caution from me, but I came out on top, so I'm happy with that. Made a profit on the day, that's what it's all about. Again, another faltering from Red Bull Salzburg. Just can't trust them at the moment. Looking on to Sunday, and I might not be able to do a live stream on Sunday. It's a family lunch beginning at 12:30. I'm sure you'll excuse me. There's only 5 or 6 people turn up on a Sunday anyway, so I think you've probably got other things on your mind as well. I hope you're all okay as well post-storm, unless that carries on tomorrow. Guernsey's been very lucky. We've just had high winds and it hasn't really impacted hugely at all. It's pre-Champions League for Arsenal. They are away from home and it is a London derby. So that's going to be an interesting match. We have to give it a watching brief, really, don't we? Ipswich and Bournemouth. Interesting to see Bournemouth only evens and not odds on. I think Ipswich eminently gettable. Why don't we just look at 1 or 2 of these via the Soccer Stats lens, particularly kind of matches you can't immediately get a handle on. So let's go off to England, if we can get there. So let's look in this first instance. That's a London derby, so we're not going to look at that. Ipswich and Bournemouth. Why are Bournemouth lukewarm favourite? Let's have a look. Just the 1 win all season for Ipswich coming against the Spuds. 2 consecutive, well, 2 1-1 draws. They haven't scored that second goal at home. They've scored it once, and that was against Aston Villa. 2 consecutive 1-0 defeats for Ipswich. They are tightening the ship at the back, but only 1 clean sheet all season. Bournemouth, 2 consecutive wins. Very impressive away from home, at least from a goal scoring perspective in the last 2. 2 and 4 goals scored, but they're conceding heavily. Patterns and sequences, well, Ipswich conceding in the last 7 at home, and also Bournemouth conceding in the last 7 away. We might see that 1-1 emerge for Ipswich Town, who are in the bottom 3, playing 10th today, and their record against the top 10 is pretty poor. But score draws will give them some hope, particularly against mid-table sides, 8th to 13th. Might give them some hope today, with both teams to score seeming to be a strong pattern for Bournemouth as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 both teams to score matches away, but they do have a tendency to give a few in the locker against strugglers. 7 goals against the bottom 2. Is that going to extend to the bottom 3? Over 2.5 goals. Well, look at this, 14% for Ipswich at home. 14%. Wow. 57% away for Bournemouth. So a real crash in the over 2.5 goal market for Ipswich home matches. Maybe that's why Bournemouth are only evens. It's expecting a tight, defensively led match. Lacking in goals, really. Ipswich only 5 all season. That's a suspended market. Likely to be a Roma goal or a Roma lead. Let's see if I'm correct, Amundo. I would expect a Roma lead against Lecce. Lecce's goal only via a penalty. So I'd be looking at that draw ending in Roma's favour. But ever cautious, more Champions League sides, Lyon, Real Madrid, Porto, yet to break through against Famalicão. But let's carry on. Bournemouth, very strong goal scorer, 75th, 76th to 90th minute. Watch out for that pattern. Away from home, 64% of goals scored have come second half for them. Leicester and Brighton, new manager. There it is. There's the Roma goal. Lovely, jubbly. Leicester against Brighton, new manager. So be very, very cautious. 3-1 in their opening match. Caught everyone unawares. Quite simply, West Ham should have been out of sight. Had a huge amount of goal action. Couple of goals, a couple of shots saved from the line. Really should have been a simple West Ham win, but I don't know what went wrong with him because Leicester did not deserve to score 3 goals. But watch out for the bounce. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Got to be very careful trading these managerial new manager matches. Tottenham and Chelsea, London derby. So just be very cautious with that one. Europe, well, Chelsea have the advantage of being able to play a totally different 11 in Europe. So they're not going to be impacted by the curse of the Champions League, are they? London derbies, well, that 1-1 against Arsenal is putting down a marker, isn't it? Keeping Arsenal quiet. That's I think the only London derby they've had to date. Tottenham Hotspur, inconsistency. It's a concern. Over 2.5 goals was a banker bet for that one, but no goal from the Spuds. And again, failing to score that second goal in a London derby against Fulham with home advantage. Crystal Palace, another London derby they failed to win. So for me, advantage Chelsea, I would have to say. Europa League could be playing on the Spuds' mind as well. The Champions League and the Europa League is coming up. Favouring Chelsea here, but it is a London derby. London derby. Derby matches can be very, very tough to unpack. Lens and Montpellier. Lens involved in European club competition, 1.33 favourites. An obvious starting point there. Saint-Etienne could give Marseille a good run for their money, particularly a pre-European club competition Marseille. So we'll look on that one with interest. Nantes and Rennes haven't got a clue. Neither has the market. 2.4 the favourite. So another good match to potentially just have a quick look at via soccer stats. Are there any patterns that have emerged between Nantes and Rennes? Well, let's bring Rennes up here. If soccer stats will oblige. And we'll have a look at the match. Maybe we'll come to the conclusion, like the market makers have done, that there are no angles here. You can't really pick a winner. Well, Nantes have had no wins since the 15th of September. They are in a spot of bother. 1-1 against Paris Saint-Germain is admirable, but probably got the curse of the Champions League involved there as well. Both teams to score is a strong pattern for Nantes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the last 11 matches have seen both teams score without Nantes winning. What are you going to do if Nantes score first? Rennes wins have tended to come at home. That's why this is 2.5 the favourite. You're looking at Nantes since the 15th September saying they're gettable. But you're looking at Rennes away. You're saying they're gettable. 5 defeats and a draw. Awful stuff. Conceded in their last 11, Nantes as well. This looks like a bit of a horror show, doesn't it? That's why it's 2.5 the favourite. Opponents have scored first in 5 out of 6 Rennes away matches. Rennes have never led at half-time away this season yet. This is 17th against 12th. Rennes, well, they do all of their best work against 15th and lower, albeit with home advantage. Question mark, we don't know how they're going to perform against the bottom 5 away from home. Nantes, well, just the 1 win against Auxerre. Scoring 2 there, possibilities today, but conceding 2. It's a mess. I agree with the market. They can't pick a winner. That's the quickest route to finding matches not to play based on pre-match research. This one's telling you, no point researching this, mate. We've looked at it and we're saying we can't split these two. Wolfsburg and Mainz. Mainz, 3-goal heroes. Watch out for them. If they ignite, they've got 3 goals in the locker. Let's have a quick look at this one. Wolfsburg and Mainz. Really good goal scoring from Mainz. But picked this up recently. Look at this goal scoring. It is quite something. Not factored in really to the odds, is it? Mainz, not even favourite. Wolfsburg putting in a good run. Only 1 defeat since the 28th of September. Identical form. 2 draws and 3 consecutive wins. Both high-scoring sides. 8 goals in the last 2 away for Wolfsburg. But a touch of Crystal Palace-itis, scoring a single goal only in the last 2 at home, where previously they could manage a couple of goals. Mainz, exceptional. 3-goal haul. I called that out recently. 3 goals away against Augsburg. 3 goals away against St. Pauli. 3 goals at home against Dortmund. 3 goals away against Holstein Kiel. 3 goals away against Stuttgart. So do bear that in mind. 3, 3, 3, 0, 3 goals scored away from home. Wow. Talk about consistent. Working our way down. And we're going to have a look. Could be either a 3-1 or a 2-2. I'll be going for a 3-1 with Lecce's only goal being a penalty. Challenge table. 10th against 8th, mid-table. Mainz are unbeaten away from home. Those 3 goals help. Yeah, it's 3-1. There we go. 10th against 8th. Pretty much all of Wolfsburg's good work has come against 12th and lower. 3 wins away against the bottom 3. Papering over the cracks here, aren't they? They're scoring and conceding. We could see, I could see something like a 2-3 or a 3-3 or a 3-2 here today. So watch out for that. And with that could possibly come a goal before half-time. Could be a good neutral match this, particularly if Mainz ignite. And away from second half, for Wolfsburg is where it all occurs. 78% of goals scored, 58% of goals conceded have come second half. So if it's a quiet first half, it may ignite second half. These two don't really do 0-0s, although Mainz have just had the 1-0 away from home. There's only 0-0 all season. They got 3 goals in the locker. Ignore this form for me, particularly against Leipzig. That's Leipzig just being turning into a Sunday League pub side, pre and post Champions League. Hoffenheim scored 4 against this lot. Wolf scored 5 against them. Another side hugely affected by the Champions League. What I'm drawn to is this. Yes, 3 of them have come against 13th and lower. Put a 3-3 here. Slight gap in form, really. Slight gap in form. But we could see a goal fest for that particular match. It's all dependent on which Mainz turns up. Hoffenheim and Freiburg. Let me just stop Dr. Stephen Hawking. Hoffenheim and Freiburg, again, I haven't got a clue. Neither has the market, 2.55 the favourite. So it's probably a good day not to do a live stream with all of these 2.4 the favourites. Fiorentina, absolute winning machines. Get them while they're in form, but there is going to be a slight negative hanging over Fiorentina, and that is one of their players was taken ill in the last match against Inter Milan, which had to be postponed. Now, that emotional toll could still affect the players today. But on form, they are quite simply a winning machine. The Viola. It's like having Gabriel Batistuta back up front. Blimey, governor. Let's have a look at all of these W's. That's a Coppa Italia. Ignore that. And that's the only aberration recently against Apple Tel Aviv. But look at the W's. www.www.com. Excellent stuff. So I'm expecting that Fiorentina 11:30 start. Hopefully I'll be up and about for that one. Got the meeting at 12:30. Napoli and Lazio derby style match. Watch out for Napoli. Antonio Conte has sorted them out defensively. They're going to be a tough nut to crack, but Lazio themselves are full of goals as well. That's going to be a fascinating match. Not necessarily a tradable match. Venezia and Como, 2 newly promoted sides, will be targeting the win. So I normally tend to lay the draw here. In-play stats are going to play a huge part. The market can't split these two because they're going to be eyeing 3 points against a fellow newly promoted side. Dutch Eredivisie, your immediate angle could be goals. AZ Alkmaar and Ajax is a derby style match for me. It's a pre-European club competition for Ajax as well. A difficult match to unpack. It looks a tough coupon in the Eredivisie. Spanish La Liga, Real Sociedad, Atletico Bilbao would be worth following for me. Full of goals, a recent beating of Real Madrid 2-1 as well. In the battle of the form sides, they are a really solid unit, particularly if they spark the in-play stats. Atletico Madrid got us a very nice win in the Copa del Rey. 90th plus winners, 2 of them. I hope you played that Copa del Rey. There was a late red card for Barbarossa, who themselves, I think, took the lead. I think it was Barbarossa or another side. We can have a look here. Sometimes a Copa del Rey is worth playing, particularly when you can get really big odds about Atletico Madrid. All about Casareno. This was all about bringing on the big guns in the second half. Look who you've got on the bench. Julian Alvarez, Longley, Lorente, Barrios and Gallagher. They were sniffing the win, weren't they? They don't want to go to extra time or anything else. Let's have a look at how the match eventuated. This is where you make your big money. You're always going to make big money at the end of the matches if you can dig out that win. Superb stuff. I stuck there to the end. Took home a nice amount out of that match. Pre-European club competition, I suppose, for both of these two sides, but quite clearly, Sevilla are nowhere near the Sevilla we know and love. Those are the main matches. Austrian Bundesliga, Austria Vienna, strong favourite. In-play stats will be key to that. Belgian Jupiler League has had actually some good trades on Saturday. Genk, I missed out on. Beerschot, newly promoted, could be vulnerable. Dender, newly promoted, could be vulnerable. Well worth following there. I might be able to pop on early evening for you tomorrow, but I do have to prioritise family first, because I'm very rarely going to be seeing them with such a gap between us country-wise. Czech one league, much of a muchness really. Pre-Champions League, pre-European club competition pools, and those would be the two to look out for. The Landspokal, it's probably going to be a goal fest, but again with the cup, you don't know whether these sides are up for it or not. There's just been just a bad attitude in the Copa del Rey, especially. West Brom and Sheffield United. Well, you know what you're going to get with the Blades, aren't you? Tough to beat. How about the Baggies? Well, let's take a quick look and then I'll wrap up the video. The Blades are going to be very, very tough to beat, but West Bromwich Albion look to be on 3 consecutive 0-0s as well themselves. No, just a sporadic 0-0s. They look bad, don't they, West Brom? Sheffield United, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 clean sheets. Make that 12 clean sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12 clean sheets. 3 clean sheets in the last 4. Albeit coming at home, but they can still do the clean sheetery away. But they seem to be more vulnerable away from home. Conceding 2, conceding 1. Big boys, though. Conceding 1 against Bristol City. That looked, well, that was from a 1-0 to a 1-1. So Bristol City actually scored first. I think we played that one. Made a nice profit there. Coventry and Sheffield United, they were actually leading and they conceded again. So away from home, they're a little more vulnerable. Conceding first, conceding a late equaliser to Coventry. So this is going to be, I think, defence via defence. 3 0-0s in the last 4 at home for the Blades, for the Baggies. And the Blades, you know, very, very tough to beat. Even down to 10 men, they're tough to beat. No defeat in 10, though. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff for the Baggies against the Blades. 8th against 2nd for Sheffield United. Highly likely going straight back up without the need for promotion playoff places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 clean sheets against 6th and lower. Highly unlikely they'll concede that second goal, I would say. I don't think that's going to be likely today. Where is that second goal for West Brom? It's only occurred once at home against Norwich. They do start scoring 2+ away from home against 20th and lower, but we're talking about big sides. 0-0 will be in play. It's quite obvious tactic for West Brom against big sides. Just get a point off them. We don't want to lose. We don't want to not get a point, particularly when you're so close to the playoffs. It's an obvious technique. You might want to back 0-0 pre-match. I would be favouring Sheffield United here on an ability to score more goals. So that's the main ones. My apologies if I'm not on for a live stream tomorrow, but quite frankly, I only get a handful of people turning up anyway. But I do owe them at least a good session, as I did today. We only had a small handful turning up, but I will be giving you 100% when I do have a live stream, and there's only a small number. After all, you have paid, and I want to deliver the best that I can do for you. FC Köln are newly promoted. They could be worth following tomorrow. 2.5 goal league, about 62% or thereabouts in the Bundesliga. 2.5 goals is an obvious starting point. Neutral is an obvious starting point. Plenty of footy tomorrow. I hope I can be up and about for it, but priority, particularly over the Christmas period, is my relatives and the newcomers to the family as well. I've got to teach the new one. He's about, about 1 year old now. I'm going to have to teach him a bit of trading as well. It's a good skill for the rest of his life. So have a great day tomorrow. My apologies if I'm not up and about on Telegram or via a live stream. But as you know very well, I try my best, but I must prioritise family, particularly at this stage when I'll be back in Thailand in just over a month. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for me to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, even evenings on a Friday. We made a nice profit yesterday. So I'm looking for more of those in the future. Weekends, my family work the traditional 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So I do have to accommodate them. But luckily I did a live stream today. Have a great day. And wish you all the best tomorrow. I hope you're all safe and you're not affected by the storm. And I'll see you again very soon. Who knows? We might finish our lunch early and I might just pop on. So if you've got a mobile phone, just have your Telegram available. And if I am able to trade, I certainly will, because I like to make money as well. Have a great day.